Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good time zone. How are you all doing? I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to another episode of Phoenix Wright, Justice for All. I may sound a little bit different now, because it was my birthday on Thursday. Yesterday, actually, as I'm recording this. Because I'm recording this on a Friday. And I got a new microphone for my birthday. So, hopefully, sound quality is a little better than my old one. I've upgraded from a Blue Snowball to a Blue Yeti, which is cool. I like it. I think it sounds so much better, honestly. So yeah, let's jump into the game. If the character voices sound different this week, it's definitely because of the microphone and not because I forgot how I voiced them. 100%, totally, no lies. December 30th, 9:41 AM, District Court, Defendant Lobby number 5. I've also been informed that this one is slightly louder than my old one, so hopefully the audio balance sounds okay. It sounded good on streams, apparently, so... Good morning, Max. Oh, yeah. Good morning, sweeties. You don't seem like your usual sparkling self today. I'm always like this before I go in front of an audience. I'm working up to it. Hee hee. Don't get nervous, Maxie. Here, have a glass of milk. Regina. How fabulous. My sweetie pie princess. You came to watch my performance today? Of course I did. Mo told me that I should come and watch this. Mo said that. So what kind of performance will you put on today? Let me guess, you'll fly at the end? It's not that kind of show. Isn't that right, my sweeties? Huh? I think my sweetie pie princess doesn't... Yeah, she doesn't seem to realise what's going on, or even where she is. Well, Max, it looks like it's time to raise the curtain. I'll see you later. Today I'm just a member of the audience. Fabulous. Enjoy yourself out there. Good luck, Max. You're the best. Regina's different, don't you think, Nick? Top of the morning to you. Everybody, let's get ready to get stuck in legal limbo. How low can you go? Mo. Top of the morning to you, Governor. Top of the morning. That's the ticket. Attacking the day starts with energy in the morning. The early bird gets the worm. But then again, worms lack higher brain function. Aha! 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 Here, Max, I brought you a present. Have some milk. Oh my, thanks. So, how are you today, Wright? Well, I've got the feeling that today I'm going to face off against the real culprit. That's curious that both of them have brought him some milk. That's really curious. You mean Acro? Huh? You think he did it? Be careful. He's used to putting his life on the line, literally. He's got guts to spare. All I've got to worry about is how thin the tightrope is. I'm used to it already. It just means that I won't be able to press him like I can with other witnesses. What are you going to do then, Nick? I guess today we'll just have to do without our usual psychological warfare. Today we rely on evidence. It's the only way we'll get past Acro and to the truth. You're right, but it's going to be tough. Anyways, I want you to make sure that Regina sees it all today. It's important. Then she'll finally have to deal with the reality of what happened to her father. You want us to make sure Regina watches? Yes, that's why I brought her here to court today. What's that supposed to mean? She needs to know that when people die, they don't just become stars. I may be an old-fashioned clown, but I don't believe in people becoming stars. December 30th, 10 AM, District Court, courtroom number 2. She is very sheltered. Here we go.
Court is now in session for the trial of Maximilian Galactica.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Very well. Ms. von Karma, you may proceed with your case.
The prosecution would like to revise its previous theory of events.
What's the meaning of this?
We've discovered a new witness, or shall I say a new eyewitness. One that saw Maximilian Galactica fly off from the scene of the crime.
Order, order. I had a feeling something like this would come up.
Due to this revision, we are now prepared to explain how the defendant flew that night. An explanation the prosecution will present if the need so arises. In fact, my detective stayed up all night creating a mock-up of the scene on my orders. Poor gumshoe, yeah.
Very well. Please call your witness to the stand.
Time to get to work, or shall I say it's time to walk the courtroom tightrope. Name and occupation. Ken Dingling, but everyone calls me Acro. I'm employed as an acrobat at the Very Big Circus. Where were you the night of the crime? I was in my room that night. If you look at the map, you will see the witness's room is near the crime scene. My room is on the 3rd floor, the crime scene is below my window. The night of the crime, the witness saw something quite shocking. Would you tell us what you witnessed? Okay. What I witnessed. It was just after 10 PM and I was resting in my bed. Around that time, I heard a large thump noise from outside the window. Then, a few moments later, I saw someone flying right by my window. It was Max Galactica. I only saw him from behind, but that's who it looked like. To be honest, when I saw that, I thought I was dreaming.
This witness's testimony matches up exactly with that of the clown.
If that's the case, there is very little the prosecution need add. All that's left is to explain how the defendant disappeared into the sky that night. Before we get that far, I'd like to cross-examine the witness. A foolish choice by a foolish fool who wishes to feel the foolish sadness of a sad fool. A man must know the proper timing for things, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Just like your old friend, Mr. Miles Edgeworth did.
Mr. Wright, do you have a problem with the witness's testimony?
In the words of Ms. von Karma, may I quote yesterday's proceedings? There's no way that actually happened.
Very well. You may proceed with your cross-examination.
Okay, so we might not be able to press much on this. It was just after 10 PM and I was resting in my bed. Around that time I heard a large thump noise from outside the window. Then a few moments later I saw someone flying right by my window. It was Max Galactica. I only saw him from behind, but that's who it looked like. To be honest, when I saw that, I thought I was dreaming. Right, what evidence have we got? Possibly, we present this. But I don't know if this is what it's wanting us to do quite yet. But I think this is going to come up at some point because it was placed by Acro in Regina's pocket. Um... Okay. I'm trying to think what else we could do here. I might save and just try pressing. See? You said that you were resting in bed. One would thus assume that you turned the lights off in your room, correct? That's correct. But there are safety lights around the outside of the lodging house. It's so bright, sometimes it can make it hard to sleep.
If that's the case, wouldn't it be a good idea to close some curtains?
I never really thought of that. I guess that means I'm off to buy some curtains.
Haha, sometimes I do make myself useful in these chambers. Ow!
The witness will proceed with his testimony. Okay, we didn't lose any stuff from that. Around that time I heard a large thump noise from outside the window, and that doesn't feel like it needs pressing on. And a few minutes later I saw someone flying right by my window. Are you sure it was a human being? It could have been a mannequin, or perhaps a large action figure. Well, setting aside the possibility of a mannequin, an action figure is plausible. You have no need to mince words with Mr. Phoenix, Wright. Testify to the truth and only the truth, just as if we were there with you that night. I believe it was a human. Damn, I just strengthened his testimony. I wonder if Acro's statement jives with the facts. I'm going to say there's nothing wrong here.
What's the matter, Mr. Wright?
Nothing, Your Honor. Till I can find a clear contradiction. I should tread lightly. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. The light in your room was turned off then, right? That's true. I was going to bed after all. So with the lights off, you were still able to clearly see a human fly by your window? The safety lights lit things up enough for me to see. But honestly, there was only enough light for me to see the silhouette outside my window. It was the person's back, so I couldn't see the white roses on the front.
Did you see any of the other symbols?
I clearly saw the silk hat as well as the cloak wrapped around his body. I'm convinced that the person I saw was Max Galactica. The more I press him, the less results I seem to get. But maybe there was something fishy with his latest bit of testimony. I'm going to say nothing wrong for now. And then we've had this. When did you start thinking that what you saw wasn't a dream? That's not important. I believe that the prosecution has done a bit of maintenance on the witness's memory.
Just to make sure, let's ask the witness. Ow!
Objection.
Sustained.
Don't sustain that. Acro must be lying about what he saw, right? Of course he is. Now the challenge will be to expose his lies in court. Well, put the pedal to the metal, Nick. Okay. Let's press on this one just to be thorough. Your room is on the 3rd floor, right? Yes. And you said that you were resting in bed. That is correct. But you were still able to hear a sound from outside? I was indeed. Pressing Acro doesn't seem to get results. Maybe something was contradictory in what he said just now. Okay, nothing wrong in that one, I don't think. Yeah, I don't know quite what it wants us to do. Hmm. Okay, well we've saved. I'll try my initial thought. Which I don't think is going to be correct here, don't get me wrong. Yeah. Okay. I think that will come up later though, the fact that he put that note in Regina's pocket. Just after 10 PM resting in my bed. Yeah, I don't know. Quite what it wants us to do. There might be something I'm forgetting from last time. Okay, I think I've thought of another thing. Let's press on this again. This bit, I clearly saw the silk hat as well as the cloak wrapped around his body. Let's try the contradiction here. There's a huge contradiction with the testimony that was just given. If there's a contradiction, then prove it with evidence.
She's right. Let's see some evidence. Do you have any evidence to support your claim of contradiction?
I'm going to try presenting the hat. You claim to have seen the exact same thing Mo saw that night. Do you stand by that? What do you mean? The silk hat. What about the silk hat? I saw it on Max's head as he flew by my window. Well, you should have tried looking down out of your window that night. That would have been quite difficult considering the state that I'm in. Just looking outside of the window was a tough enough challenge for me. It's a shame because you would have noticed the silk hat found on the scene. That's the ringmaster's hat, right? Afraid not. No matter how you look at it, this is Max's silk hat.
Where are you going with this, Mr. Wright? Are you saying that Max has two silk hats?
No, this is a handmade one-of-a-kind model made only for Maximilian Galactica. Which means, Acro, that you've been fibbing on the stand.
Order, order!
As always, it looks like someone just had to open their mouth before thinking. You okay, Nick? Well, I opened my big mouth and now I have to back it up.
How about it, Mr. Wright? What would cause this witness to commit perjury in this court today?
Real culprit, possibly. I can save here, so I can... Words. I can save here so I can try different ones. I think I'm going to go for this one though. Your Honour, on this occasion the defence accuses Acro himself. On this occasion?
Accuses Acro? What in the world are you accusing him of?
Obviously we accuse him of the murder of Mr. Russell Berry.
Mr. Wright, are you serious?
Deadly serious, Your Honour. Hahaha, I think your trips to the circus have served you well. You seem to have learned how to try and grab at an audience's hearts and minds. Your Honour, don't allow yourself to be swayed by theatrics. Trying to wow the crowd with smoke and mirrors is the oldest bluff in the book.
Really?
If you don't believe me, just look at the witness. He's calm enough for it to almost be scary. He is staying rather calm and collected.
Mr. Dingling, do you have any response to the defence's accusation?
I don't really need to say a thing, do I?
What do you mean?
Everyone, take a good look at me. I can't even stand up by myself, let alone leave the lodging house.
That's true.
I understand that Mr. Wright is just trying to help his client. But to do this by accusing me of the murder of all things. See, even a sliver of common sense makes it clear the accusation is ludicrous. She's right, way to pick on the disabled, you heartless, cruel man. Phoenix is a poopy head. See that, Mr. Phoenix Wright? If you're trying to drum up support from the peanut gallery, that's how you do it. I think that's enough of this little game. I've got a doctor's note to confirm that Acro is unable to stand under his own power. Maybe the defence is planning on making a claim to counter this as well? I can hear the defence now. Acro had an accomplice.
What do you say about this, Mr. Wright? Did Acro have an accomplice?
Save that. I'm gonna say probably yes. It's impossible for Acro to be the murderer in this case. If that's the case, then it's natural for one to consider possible accomplices.
You don't say.
Not good. Not good. This isn't going to end well. Don't tell me you think you're going to get off easy. What? You must not have heard that sound just now. Maybe it wasn't clear enough. The sound of you falling into your own trap can be hard to notice sometimes.
Mr. Wright, it seems as if you won't be stopping at Acro, but will be making other accusations. If Acro did not have an accomplice, things are not looking good for you.
I understand, Your Honour. Gulp.
Very well, let's continue. Who perchance would happen to be Acro's accomplice?
That's my gut instinct, is Ben. I don't think it will be Mo. There is a possibility that it will be Regina. Because Russell killed her lion. And Acro put the note in Regina's pocket.
You don't say.
Uh-oh. This is suddenly looking very, very bad. Don't tell me you think you're going to get off easy. What? Oh, this is the same dialogue. Foundation.
Yes, Mr. Wright. Do you have any proof that this person you've accused was indeed an accomplice?
And this is where I present this note.
Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honour. Oh.
This piece of evidence is lacking in persuasive power.
You didn't miss that sound, did you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? You know, the sound of you receiving a penalty? Oh. What are you doing, Nick?
What do you say about this, Mr. Wright?
Let's try didn't have an accomplice. Now then, this must be when we get to hear the name of the mystery accomplice. Not this time, Von Karma. What? You're not going to sucker me into this one.
What are you blabbering about, Mr. Wright?
There was no accomplice. Acro planned and committed this murder all by himself.
Order, order. What are you getting at?
Way to keep them on their toes, Nick. Now I'm going to have to prove how it all fits together. I have to show how Acro murdered Russell Berry. Can you do it, Nick? Can you really do that? I know what I can't do. I can't stop now. If I stop attacking, I'm doomed. Alright, then let's do it. This was probably the one they wanted us to do. Mr. Phoenix Wright. If this witness is the killer, then his eyewitness account is all lies, right?
Mr. Wright, I'd like you to clear something up for me. When the crime was committed, exactly where was Mr. Dingling?
In his room. He was obviously here the entire time.
That's Acro's room.
Pretty simple, eh? Acro wasn't able to leave the lodging house by himself. In that case, there can only be one correct answer. I think I've figured out what's happened. There is no flying or anything. At least, there may be a way to make the cloak and hat fly so that Mo thought he saw Max flying. And that may be a possibility. Mo could be in on it as well. I doubt it though, because he was good friends with Russell, I think. But I think Acro dropped the box on Russell. In that case, there can be only one correct answer. Acro didn't leave his room to kill the ringmaster. What? Are you nuts?
What say you, Mr. Dingling?
It's an interesting theory. That's it? Considering that what you proposed is impossible, yes, that's it.
Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honour.
As the witness has stated, your assertion is impossible. As he is in a wheelchair, there is no way he could go to the scene or be the killer.
You've got a point. It seems you've forgotten once again, Mr. Phoenix, right? The defendant was clearly spotted at the scene of the crime. That's true. Mo said that he saw Max, didn't he? Yeah, I think that's just... the cape and hat are hooked on to a rope or something. And were facing away from Mo so that he could assume it wasn't him. Or so that he could assume it was Max. Do you mind if I ask a question, Mr. Wright? What is it? I understand some of your logic. However, how do you think that I killed him? If I can't leave my room, I obviously couldn't wear Max's costume.
How did he do it?
Wrong wrong voice. Oh no. How did he do it? That's the next course of this legal buffet. Be careful, Nick. If you mess up here... She's right. I can't mess up here. I've got to give this one some serious thought. I'm sure that Acro killed the ringmaster. And he did it while he was in his room. No doubt about it.
Time to enlighten us as to how Mr. Dingling committed the crime, Mr. Wright.
I'll save, but I think I can present evidence. I'm going to present some evidence.
So what did Mr. Dingling use to commit the crime of murder against Russell Berry?
I think you should try again, especially before someone gets the chance to say something. Yeah, you're probably right. So as I was saying, this piece of evidence...
Stop, wait, I say. Before you start over, you must be penalised.
Oh. Welp. What else would it be, though? Unless it's this.
What's that? A picture?
Because that would be heavy enough. That's the only reason I've presented it. It is indeed. The problem is with the item that's shown in the picture.
The bust.
It's quite a large bust, and because it's life-sized, it's also very, very heavy. Heavy. Heavy enough to guarantee a certain death. Especially if it was dropped from a third-story window. Ah. And then he held it back up with rope, which is why Mo thought he saw Max flying, because it was the bust. That's how Acro killed the Ringmaster, with the force of gravity and Maximilian Galactica's ample bust. I don't think I want to talk about his ample bust.
Order, order! So you're saying the bust fell onto the Ringmaster?
A rather simple crime. Even if you were stuck in a wheelchair, it would be incredibly easy to commit. How could you possibly wheel a wheelchair with something so heavy? It's impossible. Well, Acro is an acrobat. He should have more than enough upper body strength to carry something like the bust.
Mr. Dingling, how do you respond to these charges?
Well, Acro's at a loss for words. He should be. He knows that I'm getting close to the truth. Well, Acro, you can't run away from things this time. Ow! I'd watch what I say if I were you, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What? Your Honour, the physical health of the witness is material to this case. I demand that we get a proper testimony from the witness himself.
Testimony, you say?
Karma. He's just using this testimony as a ruse to stall for time. There is absolutely no need for such testimony. The defence has its version of the murder. The prosecution has the right to respond.
The defence's objection is overruled.
Why can't he see things my way once in a while?
Mr. Dingling, I'm sorry, but we need you to testify about your physical condition. If you have any doubts about your ability to testify, we can request expert testimony.
The witness will have no problems. However, let's all be respectful towards him. Thank you. Oh, that woman will sink to any low to win a case. Acro's physical state. I suppose I could have lifted something the size of that bust. I have a strong upper body from working as an acrobat and only my legs were injured. However, lifting the bust and looking out the window would have been impossible. There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my lower body. That makes it impossible for me to have known the location of the Ringmaster's head. Thus it would be unrealistic for me to drop the bust on him, don't you think? And this is where we bring in the note.
I have no doubts in regard to this witness's testimony.
It was impossible for him to lift the bust and stick himself out far enough to look. Not to mention that he could not have known the location of the Ringmaster's head. A single false step would have led to even more severe injuries.
That's what I was thinking. What's your opinion on the matter, Mr. Wright?
I'd still like to proceed with my cross-examination. He's simply stalling. It's shameful, really. Ugh, I can't let it get to me. I've got to focus. Acro's physical state. I suppose I could have lifted something the size of that bust. I have a strong upper body from working as an acrobat and only my legs were injured. However, lifting the bust and looking out of the window would have been impossible. There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my lower body. That makes it impossible for me to have known the location of the Ringmaster's head. Press on this one. Why do you say it would be impossible? Allow me to explain. You accept that if I was carrying the bust, I couldn't see out below the window? Thus, there is no way that I would know the location of the Ringmaster's head. Well, I suppose you've got a point. Hey, Nick. Huh? What if you turn things around? Maybe if you think of it sort of like this. If he knew the location of the Ringmaster's head, then he could drop the bust. That does make sense. If only I could prove somehow. Yeah, that's the hint. The wink wink nudge nudge if you don't already figure it out. I think I've already explained this things sufficiently. This is where this comes into play. Oh, or not. The witness's statement is clearly faulty, Your Honor. Okay. Maybe this one. Oh! Right, in that case... If all you had to do was drop it, then it wouldn't have been a problem at all. If all I had to do was drop it, you're right, I could have done that. However, there is no way that I could land a direct hit on the ringmaster's head.
So that kind of makes your theory a bit pointless, doesn't it, Mr. Wright?
Acro is strong enough to lift up the burst. The main problem is how he could have aimed for the ringmaster's head. I wonder if he used some kind of tool to aim for the ringmaster. That's the ticket, Nick. Show them what you've got. I have to be careful. I have to find something that fits perfectly with the case. I don't remember us finding any sort of tool. Oh. But maybe we overlooked something. I'm gonna save here. Probably a bad idea with just 2 penalised things. We'll present on this one. It's gonna be the box, he'll have left it. There we go. Acro. You didn't really need to lean out the window, did you? What are you driving at, Mr. Wright? You already knew ahead of time where the ringmaster's head was going to be. Quite precisely, I may add. Your silly hinting at things is pointless, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Enough stalling, how about you show us some evidence? But I did such a good job hinting.
Yes. Hurry up and explain things, Mr. Wright.
Maybe you should take a look at this. The key point here is the wooden box.
The same wooden box the victim was found hunched over.
The same. The question is, who placed the wooden box here? Who? When Ben and company saw the ringmaster, they didn't see him holding the box. Which means that this wooden box was already placed at the scene of the crime.
I have to admit that your theory makes a lot of sense.
The moment that the bust came falling down was exactly the same moment that the ringmaster lifted up this wooden box. Which means that the answer to all these questions is now crystal clear. You mean?
If the bust were to fall upon the point marked out by the wooden box,
there would be no way that it could miss the head of the victim. No.
Order. This is unbelievable.
Finally, some of these loose ends are starting to tie themselves up. Now I just gotta keep going, and there's only one way to go from here, forward.
So the next question I have is, who placed that wooden box at the scene?
It was Mr. Dingling, of course. He connected it to a rope, and then all he had to do was lower it down. Ow! Allow me to whip some sense into you. Mr. Phoenix Wright. Ow! The ringmaster's head could have been anywhere when he lifted the box. That's why the box was so specially made. Specially made? Indeed. It had the most peculiar feature. Content, possibly. Do you recall what was inside the wooden box?
There was only a small bottle of pepper, wasn't there?
Get on with it. Well, what's the matter? Cat got your tongue?
I don't see any relationship between the location of his head and the box's contents.
Whoops. I think I might have outthought myself. No, Nick, you didn't think enough.
Mr. Wright, do you still maintain the box had some sort of special feature?
Indeed. It had the most peculiar feature. It lets me go again. The box has a remarkable weight. Weight?
According to the court record, it weighs 20 pounds.
Just to lift up this wooden box would have required.
Oh, I see. One would have had to squat down, then lift it up with their body, wouldn't you say?
That's exactly what I was trying to point out. The box is also very large.
The box also has carrying handles on either side, doesn't it?
That is correct. To lift up the box, you'd have to squat down. Which means that no matter who you are, your head would be in approximately the same place. Fool. That's what it was getting at, okay. Does he even bother to listen to me anymore? I've heard what you've had to say. I must admit, I'm shocked at your imaginative skills.
Did you do it? Did you place this wooden box in the plaza?
Mr. Wright may have a vivid imagination, but I could never have done what he's proposing. What? Mr. Wright, do you recall the original location of Max's bust? I remember. Of course I remember. It was on top of the table in the cafeteria.
Then what happened to it?
I'd like you to remember one important fact, Mr. Wright. I could not possibly leave the lodging house by myself. Ah, that means... You understand what I mean, don't you? I may very well have been able to drop the bust from my room. However, how would I have gotten the bust from the cafeteria to my room? You see, Mr. Phoenix Wright, explain that. Don't forget, you said there was no accomplice. Oh. Tell us exactly how the witness would have carried the bust from the cafeteria. Yep, we definitely have a problem here. But this is no place to get perplexed. I've got to get my wits about me and prove how things happened once and for all.
All right, Mr. Wright, let's hear your explanation. How did the witness get the bust from the cafeteria back to his room?
That is a good question. A monkey? We'll try it.
A monkey?
Everyone knows money. He loves shiny objects of any size.
Oh, like when he stole the ventriloquist's ring.
So, are you saying the witness had a monkey steal the bust? Of course he didn't order the monkey to steal it. The monkey stole it on his own and then brought it back home.
Home?
Money lives in Acro's room.
Acro's room?
But the bust was bronze, wasn't it? Bronze isn't all that shiny. Maybe you should put the whip down sometimes and read the court record. Those
are some very nice cards he's holding.
Yes, and they're made of platinum, which is very shiny. Wow. Acro. Money is a strong monkey, right? It'd be easy for him to bring the bust back to your room. If he wasn't able to handle that himself, I'd be on the market for a new roommate.
Order, order. I said order, Ms. Von Karma. Where is the bust in question at this moment?
I don't know. We're searching for it as we speak.
This is a rather strange turn of events. But let's say that the monkey had not stolen the bust. What would have happened then?
Well, in that event, something else would have been used as the murder weapon. Wait. Then you mean this bust was the murder weapon purely by accident? It's possible. Maybe Acro saw Money's mountain of stolen goods and thought to use one of them. Anyways, I think we've more than proven one critical fact. Namely, that it was entirely possible that Acro was the murderer. Moron.
Mr. Wright's argument was so circular I'm still a bit dizzy. However, his argument does hold water. There's no denying that. Ow!
Don't seem so flamboozled. It's flamboozled, okay. especially by this fraud of an attorney.
Fraud?
Wrong voice. Fraud. You've forgotten the absolute most important thing, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Motive, probably. And what is that? You should know. You forgot that your fraud of a magical client was spotted at the scene of the crime. Ah. There is no reason to doubt the clown's testimony.
That's true. How do you respond to that, Mr. Wright?
Nick, don't let it beat you now. I won't. This is my chance to turn this trial around. When the murder occurred, there were 2 people at the scene of the crime. One was the victim, Russell Berry, and the other was the murderer himself. Answer this and only this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Who was the murderer the clown saw? The bust, I think. He saw Max's book. Ow! I asked who was the other person Mo saw on the scene. That evidence has nothing to do with the question. Au contraire, mon frère. It does indeed have something to do with the question. Mo said that he saw Max's silhouette. He did not actually see the man himself. It wasn't a human being he saw.
How is that possible?
It's simple, really. What Mo actually saw that night was Max's bust. What are you talking about? Have you tried using your brain at all in this case? The silhouette he saw was wearing a cloak. There's no reason why you couldn't attach a cloak to the bust. It would be easy to hang one off the cards in the bust's hands. Idiot, who in their right mind would put a cloak on a bust? Doesn't matter who put it on the bust.
Just wait a minute now, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust? That question is of the utmost importance to this case, don't you agree?
Oh, he caught me.
So let's have it, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust?
Oh, that is a good question. Acro could have done it, surely. Could also be Money the Monkey, but I'm gonna suggest Acro did. I wonder, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Didn't the defendant wear his cloak the entire time he was at practice? So then how did this person get a hold of the cloak? Well... Furthermore, how would this person have gotten the cloak onto the bust, I wonder? Because this person was not spotted at the scene. I'm sorry. Oh, is it going to be Russell himself, somehow?
That's enough. This court sees no reason to further prolong this trial. Nor is there any more time to decide the case against the defendant. This case is extremely clear. I see no room for misinterpretation of the facts. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Billy Bob Johns, guilty.
Okay. Gotta reload. Damn it. Where did I save? Okay, we do this. Okay. kayak through this bit. We'll save before we make any decisions next time. This was quite a long way between saves, huh? Save here real quick, just in case I mess something up and have to go back again. Okay, we've still got to say who did the... Save again here. Just so that we're a bit further through. Just habitually saving more than I need to now. Okay. Max's burst. Right, we will save here. I think I'm going to suggest Russell put the cloak on the burst. If that doesn't work, I'm gonna suggest money.
Oh,
Fool, him.
you're saying it was the victim himself, Russell Berry?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, the victim himself placed the cloak on the bust. Place the cloak isn't really the right way of putting it.
Then what would be the way of putting it, Mr. Wright?
Explain yourself. Nick, do you really have a handle on all of this? I'm fine, Maya. I'm finally putting all the pieces together. There we go. Okay, it was this. There's really only one picture I can paint anyways. Alright. So you want to know what really happened that night? Let's step back in time. Acro used a rope to lower the wooden box onto the scene. Then he attached that rope to the bust and dangled the bust out of his bedroom window directly above the wooden box. At the same time, the ringmaster told Max to wait in his room and went to the scene. Of course, at the time, the ringmaster was wearing Max's costume. Perhaps he didn't want anyone to recognize him that night. But just as he feared, he was spotted at the entrance of the lodging house by none other than a ventriloquist and his puppet, Ben and Trilo. When the ringmaster arrived at the scene, he bent over to lift the wooden box. And that's when Acro took his chance and released the rope. Now this is when the magic happens. The very instant that the bust hit the victim, You wait just a second there, Mr. Phoenix Wright. As much as you try, as much as you scheme, this just isn't true, it can't be. It's still a little early to be getting so upset, Ms. Von Karma. This circus isn't over yet. What? The impact of the bust on the victim threw the cloak up, which snagged onto the bust. That impact also caused the sound a certain witness heard, prompting him to take a look. That witness was, of course, Lawrence Moe Curls, the clown. When Moe looked out his window, the cloak had already snagged onto the bust. Now, having completed the crime, Acro naturally went about pulling up the murder weapon. Of course, he had no idea that Moe saw the bust being raised with the cloak dangling on it, primarily because in his wheelchair he couldn't see out of his window, so he just kept pulling the bust up. And that is how the magical murderer disappearing into the sky came to be. Dun dun dun! So you see, the only person who could have pulled this off is the one person who was able to drop the murder weapon from above the crime scene. Acro, it could only have been you. Acro's been playing mind games with all of us. He sure has. But he has come to the end of his rope now. So, what now? You've graced us with a rather long-winded tale. Do you have any evidence to prove that your fairy tale is true?
Evidence?
In this court, only two things matter. The power of evidence and the power of my whip.
Don't forget the power of my gavel as well. Mr. Wright, the prosecution brings up a good point. Can we see some evidence?
Yeah, they say they want evidence. I just explained how there can be only one possible murder method. There is a helicopter outside my house. Apologies if you can hear that. But there's still something unusual about Moe's eyewitness account. Unusual? A contradiction, actually. Okay, then use that and get us out of the jam.
That's enough talking amongst yourselves. Proceed, Mr. Wright. Present some evidence to the court that backs your claims. I want hard proof that you have unravelled the trick to this magic case.
Gotta be this, right? Either this or the pepper.
Try again.
Oh, bollocks.
That's enough.
Oh. Damn it. Okay, so we go through all of this again. This is going to be quite a long episode after all of this. Maybe saving with two segments left was not a good idea. Also, Moe's testimony was so long ago. I don't remember exactly what it said. Right, we'll go a little bit longer. Evidence. I'll actually save on this text, please. Could try the pepper. No, okay. Oh, I can't load in this sequence. We could try this. No, I don't think so. I'm a bit stuck on what they want me to present. A contradiction in Moe's testimony, which I do not remember exactly what he said, other than saw hat dude fly. Right, let me have a proper look at things. Maybe this. The problem is Max's three symbols. Aha! You know, the silk hat, the cloak, and the white roses.
Those symbols were a problem numerous times during yesterday's proceeding.
Yesterday there were two contradictions in Moe's testimony. The silk hat was one, the white roses was the other. But the theory I just presented explains all of these contradictions. You fool, do you ever shut up? Max's silk hat was found at the scene of the crime. However, remember what Moe said yesterday. He testified that the criminal he saw fleeing the scene was wearing a silk hat. There's only one explanation for that. The silk hat that Moe saw was actually the bust's.
Makes sense. If you look at it that way, then he did see the silk hat. Well, sort of.
Fine, you've got one, but what about the other contradiction?
The other contradiction?
Remember what the ventriloquist said in court? He said that he witnessed white roses on Max's chest that night. The clown's testimony doesn't match. The clown said that there were no white roses. I'd like to see you try and explain that one away. Can you do it, Nick? Of course, I can explain all of it. What was that? Please recall the instant the cloak snagged onto the bust. If the cloak snagged onto the bust, what happened to the white roses? Do you get it yet? If the cloak got snagged onto the front of the bust, it means that the white roses would end up on the back of the bust. Ah. Which explains why Moe didn't see them. The white roses were not visible because they were on the back side of the bust.
Order! Order! This is quite the shocking state of affairs. Mr. Wright's theory still sounds a bit absurd to me. However, let's just keep going down this road for a while and see where it leads.
Let's do this, Nick. Then maybe one karma will finally throw in the towel. Well, so much for that theory. Mr. Wright, do you mind? What is it? You took the time to research our circus, didn't you? Well, yes, I did. Is there something making you think that I didn't? If you did, then maybe you'll understand why I think you're off track. Why is that? Motive. This witness feels an incredible debt of gratitude toward the ringmaster. Anyone with any relation to the circus is well aware of this. Thus, there is absolutely no way someone like this would kill the ringmaster. Your Honour, I'd like you to hear Akro's story. Learn about his relationship with the ringmaster and his life up until now. What do we do? There's no doubting that Akro deeply respected the ringmaster. Akro's motive.
It seems that this case isn't over yet. Very well. However, I feel this is a good place to take a break.
I agree, Judge.
I will listen to the rest of Mr. Dingley's testimony after a recess. This court will now take a 10-minute recess.
Okay, perfect. It's doing a to be continued. We're going to save there. I was also going to pause here, even if it just threw me straight into the testimony. So let's save. We made it through. Part 4-2 trial. And next time, we can go into saying about the lion and bat and all of that to try and prove our idea of Akro's motive. This one took a bit of thinking, but we got there in the end. And I didn't have to look anything up this time. So yeah, hopefully next time we'll be able to figure out all the stuff we need to for the motive. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I really appreciate it. I hope the new microphone sounds good. At least from what I can hear, it's a marked improvement from the previous one. So hopefully that comes across in the video as well. But yeah, that is going to be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll hopefully see you all next time. Have a good one, everyone. Bye-bye.